Shalom and welcome to Positive Commandment 111th of the Torah from Maimonides. The final purification process of the Mitzvot can be found in Leviticus 14:9, and it shall be, on the seventh day he shall shave. On the seventh day following the implementation of the first stage of his purification process, the Mitzvot brings a special sacrifice to the temple, shaves his body, and does all else that is prescribed in the Torah for this procedure, and then the purification process has been completed. And the 111th mitzvah is that the Mitzvot is commanded to have his hair shaven. This is the second purification procedure as explained at the end of the Takri Negrim. The source of this commandment is God's statement, exalted be He, on the seventh day he shall shave. We already mentioned previously the statements of our sages. 3 are required to shave, and their shaving is a mitzvah: the Nazir, the Mitzvot, and the Levites. The details of this mitzvah are explained in the Takri Negrim. Now we will explain why the shaving of the Mitzvot and his bringing of the sacrifices that completes his purification are counted as separate mitzvahs, while the shaving of the Nazir and the sacrifices were counted as just one mitzvah. In the case of the Mitzvot, there is no connection between his shaving and his sacrifices. The goal which is accomplished through shaving is different from the one reached through bringing sacrifices. This is because the Mitzvot's purification is dependent upon his shaving, unlike the Nazir. In the 6th chapter of the Takrit Nazir, our sages explain what is the difference between the Nazir and the Mitzvot. This one, the Nazir's purification, is dependent upon the number of days, and the Mitzvot is dependent upon his shaving. Once the Mitzvot has shaved and completed the second stage of purification, he no longer conveys Truma, like the Shritz, as explained at the end of the Takrit Negim. He remains in a state of being Meksur Kippurin, lacking complete atonement and forbidden from consuming sacrifices, like others who are until they bring their offering, as explained there. Therefore, the goal of his shaving is to purify him for the conveying truma, like a shitzrit, which is accomplished, whether or not he brings the offerings. The goal of bringing the offerings, however, is to complete his anointment. Like the Mesuri Kapra, example the Zav, Zavah, and the Yodels. We explained previously the sage's statement. There are 4 categories of Mesuri Kapra, and explained there at the Nazir is not included among them. This is because all his actions together, example shaving and bringing offerings, allow him to drink wine. One is not sufficient without the other. The shaving connected to the sacrifice, and the sacrifice to the shaving. Both together accomplish the single goal of allowing him those things which were prohibited during the Nazirite period. Our sages said in the 6th chapter of the Takrit Nazir, one who shaved and brought the offering, and later found it to be invalid, his shaving is invalid and his sacrifices are ineffective. This shows that the shaving is a conditional upon the sacrifices and vice versa. It is also explained in the Tostva, a Nazir whose time period has ended may not shave, drink wine, or become tames until he finishes the complete tichlas, tahara procedure as explained in the 6th chapter of the Nazir. Example, shaving by the door of the Oed Moed, throwing his hair under a pot, and bringing the sacrifices as explained in Scripture. You will find that in most passages, our sages refer to the bringing of sacrifices as tichlas, shaving. We see this clearly from the language used in most cases in the Mishnah. One says, I am a Nazir, it is my responsibility to shave a Nazir, the later phrase meaning that he will bring the sacrifice and offer them on someone else's behalf. This shows the tichlas is an expression referring to bringing the sacrifice. The reason for this is that they are part of it. Example, the tichlas procedure, as we explained, and everything together removes the Nazirite status and allows him to drink wine. Tichlas Truma, however, is part of the mitzvah, as we explained previously. Thank you for listening.